Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Language Arts. I hope everyone had a great evening and got all your homework done. We'll go over that in a little bit, but first, I want to jump right into the lesson for today because I'm pretty excited about it. Over the past couple of days, we've been talking about sequence of events and problems that happen throughout stories, and I forgot that plot structure probably should have came first, but it's all right. We're going to make it work. So, plot structure is necessary for a story to take place. And I think that it's very important, especially where we're at in our unit right now. And I'm excited to teach you guys. So, let's get started. I'm going to hand out this worksheet for you. It's not really a worksheet, it's notes. And on the bottom half, it talks about the 6 kinds of problems in fiction text that we have talked about in the past. But now we're going to move forward to the top of the page that talks about the roller coaster of plot structure. Although not all fiction follows this plot structure, the most common structure for fiction is the problem, solution, or rise and fall structure. And it's kind of like this roller coaster model. And I really like this, and this is how I learned. So I thought you guys would enjoy this also. You start at the beginning. So in the roller coaster, it's the bottom of the roller coaster. And you ever climb up the roller coaster and you hear like that little clink, clink, clink. Those are little events that reach to the top, the highest point of the roller coaster, and that's the climax of a story. That's like where the big event happens. And then what happens when you reach the top? Yeah, you're right, Joyce. You fall down. And that's what happens in plot structure. You hit the highest point of your book and you go down. After that, to little events called the falling action. And then at the bottom, you hit the resolution. So now that we have kind of a little bit of idea, let's dive deeper into what plot structure is. Looking here is just like we talked about, it's not a roller coaster, it's just a graph. And it says plot structure is organized pattern of events that must occur to make up a story. So as I teach you guys, I want you to be thinking of a whitewater rafting situation. All right, so we're going to get started with the exposition. The exposition takes place during the introduction of a story. During this step, important background information is given. So like I just said, we're going to talk about whitewater rafting. So this is giving us the settings, what the water condition is, where they're at. Is it a river? Is it a lake? Is it just a stream? Who are the characters? The situation that's happening. So like the setting could be the river. The characters could be John, Jane, and Sally. And the situation could be whitewater rafting for the day. Do we need to know any of the events prior to the current plot? Is there backstories? This will all happen in the exposition. And people somewhat call that the hook because it's going to grab your attention and make you want to go further into reading the book. So after you're hooked and you keep going, that's called the rising action, like the middle. The rising action is a series of conflicts in a plot that increase tension towards the most exciting, intense point in the story. So back to our whitewater rafting situation. In the beginning, they were getting ready to go whitewater rafting. Rapids could have been high, could have been low, we don't know. But in the rising action, it gives us those little details and events that could occur. So let's say it started off good, the ride was good, the director was good, and then things started happening. They lost a paddle, and the storm came, and the rapids got really bad and they were getting worried. All of those steps come together to be the rising action because they're going to lead to the climax, which is step 3 of the plot structure diagram. The climax is the turning point in the story where the highest action point occurs. This is where the story in the whitewater rafting reaches its peak. The main character, Sally, falls out of the boat due to the storm, and they don't know what's going to happen to Sally. The biggest thing that happened is she fell out of the boat. So that's going to turn this whole story around, and things are going to occur now to end the story. And after Sally falls out of the boat, the things that are going to happen to get us to the end is called the falling action. And the falling action is the events that take place after the climax. These actions lead to the conclusion of the story. So this is going to tell us they Did they find Sally? Did Sally not make it? Is Sally is there a search and rescue team out for Sally? What happened from Sally falling out of the boat, which was the biggest part of the story, to now? So we're going back down the roller coaster. Like it's gonna happen kind of quickly. Cause see, it's kind of sharp. It's a sharp down line, but it's gonna be step. Let's get to the end of the story, and the resolution is really the end of the story. It reveals a solution to the problem or conflict. So the big climax, the big problem was Sally falling out of the boat. The falling action was what happened to Sally. The search and rescue team was looking for, and the resolution was Sally was stuck to a tree, her life jacket hanging above water. So she was safe. She was just scared, and they rescued her and they got her to back to shore with her family. So you start little, you get the reader's attention with the hook, you do a sequence of events to the big point where the biggest event happens. Little things happen, going downward, a little calmer now, to give you the resolution, which reveals the solution to the problem. And that was Sally being found. So let's wrap up this lesson and watch, and here we go.
A plot's not anything but a sequence of events. And every story has a plot, because a story without a plot is like a fish out of water, or like pancakes without syrup, or like a shoe without some laces. Will solve from the conflict unravels in 3 phases. Rising action is the first stage. It's the middle of the story to build suspense. Whatever the problem is, it gets intense until the turning point hits. That's called the climax. The character changes, accepts new facts, and may have to make a choice. Wait, then we wrap it up. Yup. That's the conclusion. Make your plot hot, and you never lose it.
There's a nice little video for us to watch and give you a better understanding. For the sake of time, we did not watch the whole video, but in class, we would. So now I'm going to hand out this blank plot structure diagram that we have been talking about and looking at throughout this activity in the lesson. And we are going to read the book, The 3 Little Pigs. So I think that The 3 Little Pigs was a good book to choose because everybody knows about The 3 Little Pigs. So let's listen to The 3 Little Pigs and review.
Once, okay, don't say I didn't warn you. He knocked on the door and ran into the boiling bucket.
All right, for sake of time, we're not gonna read the whole book, but I just wanted to hit some of the key events that happen. So let's go back to this activity and do this together as a class. Hey, Teddy, from The 3 Little Pigs, can you please tell me what the exposition is or what the hook of the story was? Yes, you are correct. The 3 little pigs leave home for the first time away from their mom, and they go their separate directions. Good job. That got everybody's reader right, or their attention, right? They left their mom and nobody knew what was going to happen next. So that's now where we're going into the rising action. Hannah, can you tell me some of the rising action? It could be more than one event in this case. Perfect, Hannah. Thank you. The first event was the first pig builds a house out of straw and the big bad wolf comes and blows it down, right? Then, Hannah said, the next event would be the second wolf builds the house out of wood and the big bad wolf comes and blows it down. And the next would be the third pig builds the brick house and the big bad wolf tried to blow it down but couldn't, right? So how does he try to get in the house? Yes, Leticia, he tried to come down the chimney. Can you believe that? So from that point, what was the climax? We've made it to the top of the roller coaster. What big event happened here? Wolf gets frustrated and jumps down the chimney would be the climax, right? Yeah, because he huffed and he puffed and he couldn't do it. So the climax would be he had to figure something else out and he came down the chimney and nobody was expecting him to do that. Good job and thank you for thinking about that. So, what would be the falling action of the story? Gloria? Yes, that is when he had gotten in the chimney and he was coming. He thought he got those three little pigs, but he didn't, did he? He got burnt in that boiling pot. And then the three little pigs, what were they going to do? Yeah, thank you, Janet. The resolution of the story is that they all came together, they hugged it out, and they went and told their mom what happened, and they lived happily ever after. And that was with them celebrating the fact that they had beat the big bad wolf. So this is just a little activity that I thought you guys would enjoy. It's a Three Little Pigs is a children's book, but I think it was good because that was something that we have all read in the past and we can read again quickly in class to get the activity and the key points of the story in a way that we could all enjoy. Plot structure, anchor chart. I would probably have this more on the whiteboard or a big piece of white paper hanging from like the ceiling and make it like all my text structure notes in lined up. This is good to see the students if they need to refer to this. I kind of showed the arrows that helped get them up and down, defined what plot was and all of the exposition, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, the resolution. And I think that this is a good way to show the students what exactly plot structure was. So that was our lesson today on plot structure. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.